Afternoon on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, and guess what? We're towards the end of November. I'm with my lovely wife, her mother, my mother-in-law, and we are in the port city of Ningbo. My wife and I in China, we like to travel often, at least twice a month, and we are here in Ningbo. So I'm going to show you this town. It's a port city, and I'll show you around. So far in our time here, our very short time here, we left the train station a few minutes ago. A lot of greenery, a lot of green shrubbery, which is always nice. And keep in mind, we're towards the end of November. Like I said, we're right next to the train station.
On the way to the hotel, we ran into this little park with a nice bridge. China has several water towns, and even though this is not an official water town, it had that vibe. You've got the canal, you've got the nice bridge, you've got even nice surroundings surrounding it. It's very nice and very peaceful, and this was on the way to the hotel, and this was a nice little market area.
Holiday Inn is a hotel that's very well known. I wouldn't call it luxury, but it's definitely nothing basic. It's nice. And for this room for one night, we only paid about $45, so it's not bad. This is our view. We've stayed at the Holiday Inn 2 previous times, both times in Shanghai. So my wife is going to put our cute little boy to sleep, and we're going to go out, explore the town. We will see you very soon.
In cities we are familiar in, such as Shanghai, we usually plan what we're doing. But this was the first trip in a while where we just went with the flow, just walked around. We eventually decided that we wanted to go to the Bund area, but we were feeling hungry, so we decided to get a little snack, get some street food. To no surprise, the street food available was mostly seafood, being that we were in a port city. But my wife decided to get some potatoes on a stick.
How does it taste?
You can find this specific type of street food in every city and any place that sells street food.
Enjoy.
But I decided to get some squid. They put the squid on the grill, put some spices on it, add some flavor to it. Let's see.
Okay, let's try.
Well, I got this because we're in the seaport town, and why not try some seafood? Now, personally, I'm not crazy about seafood, but I've had this before. First started in Korea. The squid is raw, but they put it on the grill. And as you see, they put some spices on it. And I'm going to take a bite, even though I know it's probably very hot. Not bad for a little snack. So right now we are walking to the old town. So if you've been to Shanghai or have heard of Shanghai, they got a place called the Bund. So they have a place called the Bund as well here. And we're on the way there, and we are in a big shopping district. So we are used to Shanghai when it comes to shopping, as we've made several day trips to Shanghai just to shop. But in Ningbo, there are also a nice blend of a bunch of foreign brands, international brands. Also, my family is currently in Miami, Florida, and this is the closest I have felt to being in South Florida during my time in China. So now we are at the Ningbo Old Town. Let's check it out. Okay, so a couple of years ago on my honeymoon, my wife and I went to Tbilisi. Although we are not in Georgia, it kind of reminds me of that. If you look at the buildings, they're a little similar to the ones in Tbilisi. Olga, what do you think?
It's very beautiful, and I like how everything here is like old-fashioned. And I read on Chinese Instagram that when there was just sand in Shanghai port, the Ningbo port was already developed. There were many logistics companies working here, so this is a very historical place.
So we're gonna get something to eat because we're hungry, but we'll show you some nice views. So we have arrived at Ningbo's Bund. Like I said, Shanghai also has a place called the Bund. This is the Bund of Ningbo. Very similar in certain areas, certain ways. So if you plan on going to the Bund in Shanghai, it is cool. You go there once or twice, it's cool. But the thing about the Bund in Shanghai is that it's always extremely crowded. Everywhere you go, there is someone rubbing up against you, pushing and shoving, bumping into people. It's extremely crowded. Everyone is fighting for a spot to take a photo. But here in Ningbo, it doesn't matter where you're standing, you get a nice shot. It's very quiet, much more relaxed atmosphere. I'm not here to compare the two, but I like it here at this Bund. But you should still check out the Bund in Shanghai. It's worth a visit. Also, just like the Bund in Shanghai, they offer night cruises on the port. As you see, there are boats down there. But so far, I do not see any boats traveling across the river. But in Shanghai, you constantly see boats moving across.
A short time later, we found a place to eat. It's actually a bar. Very interesting atmosphere. Not your typical bar, not people being loud, just very relaxed and peaceful.
So this is the restaurant we chose to go to. It's right next to the Bund, and as you see, it's like a goldfish, flying goldfish, which I think's cool. It's kind of like a bar, but it's still kind of family friendly because right next to us is a family. So we're waiting for our food, and I'll show you the kid-friendly area. It's like some material that the kids can play with. Yep. The food is here. We will eat and we'll see you at the Bund again very shortly. There you have it. My first cargo I've seen tonight. Pretty cool. Just like the Bund in Shanghai. The lights have changed since our dinner. It's quite cool.
I don't know if you've been to New Orleans, but I've been to New Orleans. And it felt like New Orleans because of a lot of jazzy atmosphere, just music being played, the nice lights, and if you look at the architecture, it has that vibe. There were people performing on the street, and I felt like I was at a Disney fireworks show, like a light show. Look at all these beautiful lights. The same experience without paying the expensive fees for the Disney park. The Bund in Ningbo is much less crowded than the one in Shanghai. This one is also very family-friendly and great for couples. This is a Catholic church called Jiao Chu Catholic Church, and this is a very famous spot in Ningbo. So we decided to come by and check it out. Stained glass is very beautiful, and I didn't know this, but they actually had a mass on the inside, so I decided to check it out. I'm not Catholic, but it was kind of cool seeing mass in China, as I am not very used to seeing religious services being held in China. I've seen several temples, but not a church. They were even doing the Lord's Prayer, as I assume.
So I went to a few minutes of the Mass. I grew up going to Mass. I'm not Catholic, but it was interesting. I don't know what was being said. But anyway, I thought this spot would just be like a tourist spot, like a place to take photos, but they actually had an actual service. Pretty cool. Okay, so our first day in Ningbo is going to wrap up. We're going to go to the hotel, and day 2 will be very shortly. Good morning on this beautiful Sunday morning in Ningbo, and we're on the way to a library. I'm not really in the libraries, but my wife thinks this library is thebomb.com. So Olga, explain what this library is and why we're going there.
So the reason why we're going there is because I did some research on the city on Chinese Instagram called Red Note, and I found a place called Tianyi Book Bureau, and it is the oldest existing private library in China. And it's a very legendary place. We need to see that because it holds a lot of history, and it will take about 30 minutes by walk. We're using Apple Maps here, and we're walking from our hotel to the museum. And also we will get to see other beautiful things of the city. Just stay tuned.
And what I like about the expat lifestyle is that because I don't have a vehicle, because Olga doesn't have a vehicle, because several expats don't have vehicles, it allows for a lot of walking. Get good exercise. Stay tuned.
So this is the entrance to the library. It looks very traditional, like a temple. And the cool thing is that admission was free.
Okay, so we are at this library, the little place for fish. So far I've seen no books, but it seems to be like a historical treasure here in Ningbo.
So during my time in China, I have been to a few museums, and the museums are pretty similar. A lot of historical facts and artifacts. The museums also feel like an art gallery. It didn't really feel like a library with any books or any shelves. I thought that was it, but on the other side, there is more to see. Let's check it out.
Okay, so now we're in the actual library. I thought the other part was just the whole place, but this is the actual library. Let's take a look. Well, that was an interesting experience. Not bad. Maybe this is a library of information, but perhaps not your traditional library. Maybe if you asked a fellow Chinese native, maybe they would tell you it's an actual library. But regardless, this was for free. Not bad. I always enjoy going to museums wherever I am in the world and seeing the history they have to offer.
We eventually left and came across a restaurant. Not just any restaurant, but a restaurant having food from Xinjiang province, a place in China that is famous for Uyghur people. It is definitely on my bucket list. I would love to go there before I leave China.
So we're at a restaurant that has food from Xinjiang province, which is the Muslim Uyghur part of China, mainland China. And so we are waiting for our food. As you see, it is themed like that province. I've been to Kazakhstan, and so it's similar to Kazakhstan or perhaps Uzbekistan. Anyway, we're waiting for the food. Food should be good.
সোনার মতো গায়ের বরণ চাঁদের মতো হাসি তাই তো তোমায় বন্ধু আমি বড্ড ভালোবাসি কাজল দেব তোমার চোখে নজর যেন লাগে না.
So we ate the delicious food, and now we're gonna go to a bakery, and then we're head to the train station. So right now we're walking there, and after we're done walking there, we'll say goodbye.
Butterful and Creamerous is actually a very famous bakery with several locations in China. This is not your typical bakery. Anytime you walk into this bakery, there are always very long lines. It's very hectic. The workers, yes, they're polite, but they're also very stressed. You have to go in and out, and it's very hard to find a place to sit. Still, it's worth a visit. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to teach English abroad for nearly 7 years, especially here in China, being that I have the opportunity to provide for my family, take them traveling, and give them nice memories. My son, who is a little over a year old, will not remember, but he'll have some cool childhood photos.
Okay, so there you have it. We are finishing up our time here in Ningbo, and we're just eating our stuff from the bakery, killing time while we wait to eventually walk to this train station to catch a train back home. I'm actually a teacher here in China. I've been teaching abroad since 2019 between South Korea and currently in China. And if you're interested in teaching abroad, whether it's here in Asia, Latin America, Europe, or perhaps the Middle East, any of these places, then go to my stand store, see what I offer for your benefit, for your knowledge, and if you'd like to speak further with me about teaching English abroad, I can answer any questions you have. See what country or countries you're interested in, and I can determine which ones are best for you or which one is best for you based on what you want. Then book a one-on-one consultation with me and let's talk. As always, thank you for watching my video. Visit Ningbo if you ever get a chance. It's a nice underrated town. And you can go to the Bund here and compare this Bund and Shanghai's Bund. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.